Okay, so next up we got hip airplanes. These are not incredibly easy, but they are made a lot harder when we don't use our abdominals to brace, and that is the single biggest issue that I see when people try to perform these hip airplanes. So we're gonna have Chris go ahead and get in a single leg, basically a single leg RDL position. You want to extend this back leg?
Sure.
So we're gonna get this nice and straight. We're gonna brace our abs. We're gonna hip hinge forward. Get a little posterior tilt here. Great. So, in this position, she can either start with collapsing her hips to get a good stretch in this glute med, or she can start up, but she went down. So we're gonna look for a stretch on this side, and then as she opens back up, we're gonna really look to drive our leg into the ground and use this glute for that extension. Okay, and you might feel a good stretch in your adductor over here. That's okay. We really want to, yes, stretch that adductor while actively using that glute med on this side. And again, the harder you brace your abs, if you try to make this an abdominal exercise, it's going to be a lot easier to balance. But what I tell all of my clients, don't balance. You're not a flamingo. I want you to brace. So the other important aspect of this is going to be your rooting. So we're going to have Chris really work to stretch her toes out here and grab the ground with as wide of a base of support as possible. Ideally, your toes are going to be the widest part of your entire foot, okay? And it's going to basically be like a triangle or a pizza slice. Great. And in the programs that I write, I generally say first set assisted, second set unassisted. I don't want you to do all of your hip airplanes assisted, because then we start to rely on holding that for our base of support instead of bracing through our midsection. The second thing we can do to make this exercise just a little bit easier, so I take a band, and we stretch it between the foot and the shoulder, and I want you to really concentrate on keeping as much tension on that band as possible. And what that's going to do is it's going to aid in your bracing. So when we're doing any kind of exercise, we want to look for that total body rigidity that's going to make it that much easier to really isolate this glute. And you can actually go ahead and bend your knee just a little bit, because that's going to put more pressure on that glute med. Your glute med knows to stabilize your leg when your knee is in a slightly bent position. When it's locked out, you're a flamingo again.